Hey everyone, Lewis here and welcome back to our journey through building a high-ticket dropshipping business from scratch. So if you're just tuning in and missed episode 1, don't worry, I've linked it in the description so you can go and watch that first because trust me, that one is a solid foundation that you are not going to want to miss. Now last time we started with the crucial first step, which was zeroing in on the perfect niche. We broke down the strategies, we unearthed some golden opportunities while we drove around looking for niche ideas, and basically we set ourselves up for the excitement that's unfolding next. Now, in this second episode in this video series, we're taking things to the next level. We're getting hands-on, we're rolling up our sleeves, and we're focusing on the business foundations. We're building the infrastructure that will support our thriving e-commerce venture. So today, I'm going to walk you through every step, from tweaking the nuts and bolts in the settings to designing an e-commerce store that draws people in. And it's not just any store we're talking about here. We're crafting a high-ticket dropshipping powerhouse. So whether you're a complete beginner or a seasoned entrepreneur, stick around because this is your opportunity to learn and grow. And this is the best bit. If you're watching this video, you will get the chance to take over this very store that we're building for free. Yep, you could be the proud new owner of a fully set up e-commerce business. To enter the giveaway, simply make sure you hit subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and leave me a comment down below. The more episodes you engage with, the better your chances to win this very store. So let's not waste another minute. Let's dive into the world of high-ticket dropshipping and build something extraordinary. You ready to take some notes? Let's make this a week to remember. So here we are back in our overview plan of how to build a high-ticket dropshipping business from scratch in 1 week. First video, we looked at laying the foundations. We got everything set up. We registered our company. We talked about opening a business bank account, the benefits of having a limited company. We covered all that great stuff. We even went out for a drive. We chose our niche. We did our research. We found our suppliers. We are well on our way now to having this business up and running. So this video is going to be specifically about building a Shopify store. Okay, so this is what we're going to dive into. And then in the next video, we can talk about signing suppliers, uploading products, and then you have the dropshipping business up and running. So in this video, we'll dive into building a Shopify store. So with our high-ticket dropshipping journey in full swing, today we're talking about something absolutely crucial, which is business foundations. So just like a strong building needs a solid foundation, your e-commerce venture needs the right groundwork to thrive. So we're not here to build a flimsy short-term business. We're creating a high-ticket dropshipping empire. And that starts with getting the fundamentals right. So in the next few minutes, we'll dive into setting up your store and establishing a really strong online presence. So it's all about building your brand, one that doesn't just survive, but it thrives in a competitive e-commerce landscape. So let's get straight to it, building a strong foundation for our high-ticket dropshipping business. You ready? Let's go. All right, so let's dive straight in then to the essentials of setting up our business foundations. This is where our high-ticket dropshipping business really starts to come to life and take shape. So let's get into it. First up, Shopify. Now, I'm going to show you how to sign up for an amazing deal through the link that you can see in the address bar at the top here, dropshipunlocked.com/Shopify. If you use that link, it's quick, it's straightforward, it gets you started for free for 3 days, and then it's just 1 month for £1. So go to dropshipunlocked.com/Shopify to get started. So I'm there now. I'm going to click on start free trial. And then I'll put, I'm just starting out. And then next. And I'm running an online store. So next. I will be dropshipping products. Next. And then I'm going to be in the UK. So I'll do it in the UK. And then I'll click sign up with email. Now I'm going to enter my email and the password that I want and click create Shopify account. So I'll do that now and then I'll see you on the inside. So once we're in the Shopify admin section of this new store, I'm going to go down to settings that you can see at the bottom here. And when I click on settings, you'll see at the top, it says store details. So I just wanted to talk you through the details that you need to know about here and answer any common questions that you might have so that we can get our store up and running. So the first thing is the store name. Now at this stage, I haven't decided on a store name, so I've just called it My Store. Original, I know, but I'll come back to that later on when we talk about branding and naming our business. But for now, that's fine. Next, I'll want to add my store phone number if I have one already. If you don't, we'll show you how to set one up, so don't worry about that. And then for now, you can just use your email, and later we'll be setting up a business account with Google Workspace, and so you'll have your own business email that you can have as well. As we go through, we've got our billing information here. So this would just be your legal business address. So this is the company that you registered on Companies House. So make sure you enter your legal business name and the country that you're in. Make sure you've got your address and postcode in there correctly. Then after that, the currency that you want to use in your store. For me, it's British pounds. Down to time zone, I'm going to be using GMT time zone for my store so that all the orders are tracked at the correct time according to the time zone that I live in. I use the imperial system and pounds for weights, but you can choose whatever. And the order ID is quite helpful, so you can use either a prefix or a suffix for your orders. I like to do a prefix. So say my store was called My Store, the initials of that would be MS. That means that the orders will appear once customers start purchasing products from us as #MS1001. Now that's quite nice because when you're speaking to suppliers in the future and you need to track a specific order number, you can give them that specific store and it will be unique to your business. So a good thing to do, and get into the habit of doing it. And then once you've done that, save your changes. Okay, so we've set up our store details. The next option for me in the menu is plan. Don't worry if these are in a different order for you, but let's go through plan and selecting the plan. Now I've chosen the basic Shopify plan, which is absolutely fine and will get you started. You're not even charged until the trial ends, and even then it's only £1 a month for the first month. So you can see the basic plan here. I've selected that. I've set it up, and I believe for plans, that is good to go. Back to settings. And then the next one I want to show you after plan is payments. So this will be the next item that we'll go through in detail. So in the payments section, it covers how we accept payments as a merchant, which is the name of the game in this business. We need to be able to accept money from customers in order to take payment. So Shopify payments is the main payment method that's kind of built into Shopify. And it's really good. They charge no transaction fee. And then the card rates start at 1.7% plus 25 pence on there, but there's a 0% additional transaction fee. Whereas when you use some other providers like PayPal and Amazon Pay, they charge a 1% fee on there. So just something to be aware of. But I'll go to complete account setup and just make sure that I've set up my Shopify payments correctly. So choose my business type. Mine was a private limited company. I'm going to put in my business name here, and then I'm going to put my company house number in here. And then I don't yet have a VAT number for this company because I haven't yet registered for VAT because I haven't hit my £85,000 threshold in revenue. So I'll say no. I'm going to put my business address in, put my city, my postcode, and then it just asks for some personal details about you. So this is the person associated with your account and would be one of your business executives. So probably you as the director at this stage. Put your title in as a company director, date of birth, address, city, postcode, and tick in the box to say that I own more than 25% of the business because I'm the sole shareholder, and that I'm also a director of the business as well. Now, if you have another owner or director, then you can just tick that box there and put their details in as well. Select the industry that you're in. So for me, this is retail. Then I'll select my business subcategory. So for me, I guess if it's going to be barbecues and grills and things that we're selling, then probably home appliances. I'd probably have a look. Need to look a little bit more in depth at that one, but that's the first thing that I can see. And then I'd add in the description of the product. So I'll be selling. So I'll just talk a bit about the products that we'll be selling on our store. We've done our niche research, so we know that at this stage. The billing statement. So on here, you could put something around your phone number. Could be a good option to use. So later on, we could come back and use your company phone number so that people can call you, or you could just put your website name. So if it was mystore.com, that can be useful because then that can appear on customers' bank statements or credit card statements when they see a transaction. So if ever they don't know what the transaction related to, they'll see a description of your website, and your phone number should appear as well, and they'll be able to contact you directly, and they'll realize that it was regarding something that they purchased. So that's what you can add in there. And then this is really important, and this is why we set up the business bank account in the first place. You now need to enter your sort code and your account number for your company business bank account so that you can accept payments from Shopify payments once customers have paid your store and have that payout come to you. Because remember, some of that money is what you'll then use to pay suppliers for the goods, and the rest you keep as the profit in your business. So then we'd submit that for verification. So then once we've done that, we'll head back to settings, and the next one I'm going to guide you through is checkout. So checkouts is a subsection of the settings menu, and in here you can add your logo, you can change colors, fonts, you can amend your checkout and customize it however you want to. That's probably something we'll come back to later once we've figured out our branding and our store's colors and things like that. And for now, we will go through the customer contact method. So select contact method customers use to check out. I like to go for phone number and email. The reason for this is when you're selling high ticket items, sometimes if you just have a customer's email and there's an issue and you want to speak to them, or you want to send them text updates about when their item will be delivered to make sure they're home, it's quite good to capture customer's phone number. So there is a legitimate reason to do that. I'll untick require customers to log in to their account before checkout because it's just not necessary. We would look to take their first and last name. For the company name, we don't require them to include it, so that's fine. We can leave that as don't include. For address line 2, you can leave that as optional, depending if you start having issues with delivery couriers not being able to deliver items because they didn't have a specific enough address, then you could add that and make it required, but you have the flexibility. And then for shipping address phone number, I would set that to required as well, because it might be that the phone number that they want the item delivered to, or the associated phone number, is different from the billing one. So good to have that there as well, so that the person who is responsible for the delivery gets text updates about it. For marketing options, you can let customers sign up for email or SMS marketing. You don't have to set it to pre-selected, so those boxes will be available for customers to tick and say, would you like to hear from us by email or SMS? So you could have those there. And then for tipping, if you wanted to allow customers the option to tip you as a business, probably not that relevant for our kind of business here, but maybe if they've had exceptional customer service from your virtual assistant or from you, then perhaps they do want to leave a tip. Then you've got address collection preferences here. So this is like when Shopify is collecting the address from the customers. You want them to, or do you want them to use the shipping address as the billing address by default? Could do, could not. Again, if you're starting to get issues where people say, no, I put my payment card details in, but I didn't want the item delivered there, then that might become a common issue in your niche that you've decided to go into, in which case you could unselect it, which would separate the two, and it would ask customers, what was your payment address linked to your billing card, and where would you like the item sent to? Address auto-completion, that's a pretty good thing to have. It speeds up the process of customers going through. That will help increase your conversion rate as well. And validate shipping addresses. So just making sure that if someone enters like a typo in their postcode and it doesn't link to the address on Google Maps, then they should be able to validate that for you through Shopify. So the next up is order processing. Do you need the customer to require a confirmation step before checking out? So I'm going to leave that as unticked. And after an order has been placed, I'm going to select don't fulfill any of the order's line items automatically, and I'll explain why later, but in summary, it's because we won't capture the payments until we are sure that the item is in stock with our supplier, at which point we'll forward the order over to the supplier, and then we'll capture the payment, only once we're confirmed that it is in stock. And then after an order has been fulfilled and paid, you can tick to automatically archive the order. That's a nice way of keeping organized. Abandoned cart checkout emails, we'll talk about that separately. We're going to use a different service to set that up because that's a slightly better approach for that. Order status page, you can add tracking scripts, customizations here. This is all stuff that's a bit more detailed we can go into later. For now, checkout language, you're going to have to English, no specific rules or parameters that we're going to apply to this, and we'll click save. Right now, the next setting that I want to take you through is your shipping and delivery settings. So this is going to be really important for your dropshipping business, and I'll explain how we set things up in here and how you can set things up differently depending on your policies for your store. And remember, you're the business owner, you get to choose, but also probably trying to reflect what some of your suppliers offer as well. So that'll be finding that balance between what works for you, what's fair for customers, and what works for your suppliers. So in here, you'll have a general shipping rate. So if I click in here, you can see some demo products that I've already uploaded here. Now, all products will get added to that profile, and then you can set up that specific profile accordingly. If you want to set up a different profile, you can go back and you can create a new profile, maybe just for a subsection or a group of products that you want to have a specific policy. If there's like a supplier outside the UK or something, or who doesn't ship to certain regions, you might want to edit things based on that. But if we go into the general policy that you can see on here, I'll leave my origin just as it is there. And then for shipping zones, This is one that you'll want to ask your suppliers. Where can you ship to? Where do you ship to? How much would it cost to ship to other countries? And understand the reason that we teach the home turf advantage model about staying within the country in which your suppliers are based and only supplying customers in or very local to that region is because it makes things really easy. You're not worrying about import taxes. You're not worrying about long delivery times, shipping delays. It's very fast. So in here, under the United Kingdom rate, you can see that currently I've got it set up as, I'll go to this one first. Edit the rate. I've got it set to standard, so 2 to 4 business days. Now that might change. Some of your suppliers might say, actually, no, they're made to order, and it might be, for a specific product, you might call the name of your supplier the shipping rate, and then it might be a much longer time frame, or a much more expensive delivery cost, and so you might put that supplier rate 11 to 20 days. Delivery time, if that was the case. For most of our suppliers, it's next day delivery because we're working with UK suppliers and selling to UK customers. So we have the standard 2 to 4 business days. That gives us a bit of a safety margin. If someone orders over a bank holiday weekend or something like that, you can put in a nominal delivery fee for any products that were below your free shipping threshold, and then set that and save that. But what is nice to do is offer free delivery on products that are over a certain price threshold. Now, there are ways of calculating this and figuring out when you earn enough profit from a sale for you to make the decision as a business owner that you're happy to absorb the delivery cost that your supplier's courier will still charge you, but you can absorb that into the cost. Or you may have a supplier who offers free delivery even to you as one of their retailers on orders above a certain price point, which is fantastic, because then if we can do that, we can pass that saving to the customer as well, and they're more likely to order from us. So I might say something like £500 minimum price to get our free delivery above orders of that price. And so that will show up as standard free delivery on orders over £500, and that will be relevant only to the products that meet that criteria. So when a customer reaches the checkout and their product is over £500, it will show up as free delivery. And then in here, you can add other shipping zones. You don't really need to do it with this model because we'll only be shipping to the UK anyway. There's more than enough demand in the UK. We've already validated that. It was all part of the first video where we talked about the market research. So we don't need to overcomplicate things, but you can see here some of the templates are set up where you can go in and adjust the shipping rates depending on the different zone. Maybe you charge a little bit more and it takes a bit longer for delivery to some of those international zones. And yeah, you can set up your rules accordingly. But once we've set that up for the UK, we don't need, you could have just a UK rule, and then you could potentially set up another rule that covers the rest of the world. And you could even say that we don't ship to those areas. And then that way you are only shipping to the country in which your suppliers and your customers are based. With that said, we are good to go. We can save our shipping policy. Now we've set up our shipping and our delivery settings. Let's head over to policies now, which you can see in here. Now, this is where we'll need to set up things like our privacy policy, our terms, our delivery and returns policy using the Shopify template. So this used to be something that you had to kind of go and buy templates for. Now it's really easy. All you do is click create from template, and then you just go in and make the adjustments yourself. So you can add in your own email address, you put your returns address in, and you get to call the shots on how it works. Make sure that if you want to add in return rules here and how fees are applied, then you can turn that on, and then you can manage your rules and say, I'm going to change my rules and have it as a 14-day period or a 30-day period or a 90-day period, and there's a specific cost for doing that. You've got things like restocking fees. You've got specific products that might be exempt from return if they're made to order. So there's lots of different things you can set up within there. I'm just going to go back to the policy page that we're on. We'll create the template and then go through, make sure you make the adjustments, change. It might not be, you want to have it as a 14-day period, which is what it defaults to here. So you could change that later, and then make sure you replace the template, and it should auto create the template that is aligned with the rules that you've set. Do the same for our privacy policy. Again, read that from Shopify. This is not legal advice. They're just giving you a starting point, but it's a great starting point to work from. Just make sure you make the adaptations yourself. But just remember, if you don't change this and you don't enter your own details, then it won't act as legal protection. So there really is no point in doing it unless you are going to spend the time and go through it. But it's a small price to pay, to get yourself up and running. Then you've got terms of service. So we'll create those from a template as well. Same thing here. We go through and just make sure that everything is linked up. It says here, link to your refund policy, link to your terms. So you just got to make sure everything is linked correctly. And then we have our delivery policy and our contact information. So I'll create the contact information here. We'll want to come back and change this later because this contact information isn't going to be relevant to the ultimate name of the store that you'll create. So once we've done that, we'll click save and move on to the next step. So now we've been through all of the basic settings, we've set up the fundamentals. Let's show you how to change what your store actually looks like. And believe me, it's going to be a lot simpler than you think to get a really professional, great looking store up and running incredibly quickly. So when you're in Shopify, if you just head to your home section here, your dashboard, as they call it, and then over to online store. Now under online store, you'll see themes. Now, a theme is the way in which your store looks, and it's kind of the wireframe, the bare bones, the foundations of what your website will ultimately be built on, and it will dictate a big part of what your website looks like as well. So if I preview what my online store looks like at the moment using the current basic theme, so I'll click on view your online store, you can see it's very basic, right? So it's just super simple, there's nothing really there, but it's kind of the placeholder for what's to come. So if I go back to themes, in Shopify, they have a variety of really popular free themes, and they're actually really good. They're really quick. They're really intuitive. No coding is needed to do the basics. You can obviously add more features later with clever code. But for now, if you have a look at a few of these, if I open up, say, Spotlight as an example, and have a look to see what it looks like, they'll show you a bit about the theme, and you can read the reviews and stuff from people. But they also give you a demo store to see how the theme looks if it has been applied to an actual Shopify store. So you can go through here and I can say, okay, so this is being used to sell like caps and apparel and things like that. That's fine. Not sure. So then if I go over to this one, refresh, and click on that one and have a look at that. And then view the demo store, see what it looks like. Okay, so this is a bit more like it for me. You've got these sections where you can kind of pull out key features. You can add text, you can have an image, you can have different product shots. Then you can have the kind of the collection pages where the images scroll through as you hover over them. You can have these little banners, the price crossed out, the old price, what they call that, the compare at price, and the current price. Some nice sections, key selling points. So yeah, this is good. I like this one. So this is the one that I would go with for this store. For now, we can always change themes later, so I wouldn't get too caught up in it. So I'm going to click add, and now you can see it says installing theme. So once that theme is up and running and ready, that's where I'll be able to click the customize button to take me in to actually begin editing the theme. And we can do that all offline without it showing up on the public facing internet. And we can do that behind our password protected store. And then once we're ready and it's looking good, that's when we can publish it. Okay, so now it's come to the point where we need to name our business to actually bring it to life. And I'm going to use AI to make things really simple here. So I'm going to head over to ChatGPT to do this, and I'm going to enter the prompt that you see on the screen here. I'm building a Shopify store in the barbecues and outdoor cooking niche because that was the niche we chose. Please suggest 10 examples of names for my store. One word should be a descriptor word and the other should be a keyword for my niche. I don't want to be too confined to barbecue, so please provide a wider name that incorporates a wider range of products. So you just need to insert your own niche words into that prompt, but you can use that prompt, copy and paste it, and put it into ChatGPT and watch what it comes back with. Okay, so we got an amazing list of selections here. To be honest, most of these could work. Fireside Feast, Grill Galore, Ember Eats, Patio Provisions, Hearthside Hub, Flame Fair, Outdoor Oasis. Yeah, I like those. I'd probably go through and double check that none of them are taken and just double check that you're not treading on any other business's toes and that they're not trademarked or anything like that. But for the purposes of this store, I'm going to go with Fireside Feast, number one. I like that. So I'm going to copy and paste that and head back to Shopify settings. Okay, so I've decided on my brand name. Now I'm going to go to settings in Shopify and then look for domains. So this might have moved around a bit when you're watching this video, but it will be somewhere within Shopify. Now it says you can buy or connect a domain. So this will be like your website, your www.something.co.uk or .com address. All right, so I'm going to click buy new domain because currently the domain that they assign you for free within Shopify is a certain code .myshopify.com, and that's fine for kind of the behind the scenes work. But if you're public facing and you want customers to find you, you need a memorable domain, and we decided on Fireside Feast. So I click buy new domain, and then I'm going to paste in the name that I came up with, and yeah, we've got the .com available, the .net, .org, .store. Yeah, perfect. So I'm going to go for the .com version of that and click buy domain. That's $15 for the year. So I've got this set up at the moment to auto renew every year. That's absolutely fine. We can do that. I'm going to put my name in, my email address, my store name, which will be called Fireside Feast. I'll put in my phone number, country, address, all the rest of it, and then I'm going to click buy domain. So it says that they've sent me an email over to finish the registration. So I'll look at that email and I'll follow the steps within that email. And you can see within here that we are all set up now. It's going to auto renew and we're good to go. It's just the SSL certificate is pending and that should come through soon. And we are good to go with our new domain. So the next thing on our list that we want to do, now that we have our store name and our brand name, is under online store. If you click that, it gives you a drop down and I'll head to preferences there. Now at the top, you can see our title and meta description for our website. So this is what people would see kind of as the homepage title and what would be shown on search engines underneath that title. So it's really important that we get something good here that works for us. So I've got something that I just typed up here that I'm going to put in: Fireside Feast, barbecue, pizza oven, and garden grill specialists. Making me hungry just saying it. And then for description, I want that to be quite keyword rich. There's 320 characters that you can use. So I actually haven't even used the full 70 allowance there. So you could possibly add something else in to make it even more compelling. But I've put, looking to up your barbecue game this summer. At Fireside Feast, we have the best barbecue grills and pizza ovens in town. Buy today and get free delivery over £500. So nice way of enticing people to the site. Could be optimized further, could be made stronger, and we certainly could use the full allowance that is given to us by Google and the search engines. But for now, that will do, and we can move on to getting a professional email address set up. So now that we have our domain set up, we now need a professional email address that, for example, is like support@ourdomain.com or your name at yourwebsite.com. And so I'll show you how to set that up. So we are in domains in settings of Shopify, and we click on the domain that we just purchased. And then we go down in the email section, you can see switch to email hosting, to third-party email hosting, to send and receive emails from this Shopify managed domain. Connect a Google Workspace or Zoho account. So we're going to use Google Workspace. That would be my recommendation. So I'll click switch to email hosting, and then in here, select G Suite, and we need a TXT value. But to get that, we need to have created a Google Workspace account. So I'm going to click on this link under here and open that in a new tab. And then in here, Google Workspace is linked there. If that doesn't work for you, you could just head to workspace.google.com and follow the steps to get signed up. So I'm going to click get started, my business name. I'll put my actual business name in here. So that would be my registered company name. At the moment, it's just me. Put my first name in, my surname, my current personal email address. And then I'm going to continue to follow the steps, get that all set up until I have a Google Workspace account. So then it will say, what's your business's domain name? Well, we set that up before. It was Fireside Feast. And actually a good tip when you're doing this is always copy and paste. Don't try and type. Don't try and be accurate with your typing, because we're all vulnerable to making typos, and you don't want to make a typo when you're setting things up like this. So firesidefeast.com. And next. So then for me, use this domain to set up the account. Yep. Put my username in. For now, I'm just going to call it, I'm just going to put my name in here and then choose a password. And then I'm going to leave these 2 boxes unticked, prove that I'm not a robot, and agree and continue. So now it's asking me to sign into my new Google Workspace admin console. So I just put in my new email address and my shiny new password that I selected, and then I'll click next. Then I'm greeted with this screen. So it's just, I understand, follow the terms through, have a read. And now I'm inside my Google Workspace account. So I'm going to say try free for 14 days and go through, enter my business information here. And then once I've done that, I'll click agree and continue. Okay, so payment complete, and now we are inside Google Workspace. So the first step we have to take, and remember your onboarding might look a bit different. They tend to change things fairly regularly. But ultimately what they'll want you to do is verify ownership of your domain. So they'll want you to protect your website by saying that you own the domain and proving that you own the domain. So we'll click protect on that. And one of the ways that we do this is, one of the easiest ways to do this is with what's called TXT records. So on my screen, it says find your DNS record or settings. Well, we know that that's in Shopify because that's where we purchased the domain. And then, so we know where that is. So I'll go back over to Shopify. We've got that there ready for the TXT record to go in there. So then we'll go into step 2. And then this is the TXT record. So I've clicked that, and then we'll paste it into there. And then I'm going to click save, and it says your G Suite email hosting service has been configured. So we are good to go. We're all linked up now. I'll go back to here, click protect domain. It says it's checking for verification. You can close this page and return later, 5 minutes remaining. So it can take a little bit of time. So that's fine. We'll move on to the next steps and we'll leave that working away in the background. So just whilst that is working away in the background and it's verifying our ownership of the domain, if you head to admin.google.com in a new tab and then have a look inside your workplace, you can see that currently you probably only have one user because that will be yourself. And if you click on that user or manage users and then click on your own name, your email address, what you can do is add alternate emails for yourself. So these are like alias email addresses. So for example, you could add support@firesidefeast.com, and all emails that go to support@firesidefeast would come to your main inbox. So that means you only need one email inbox. You could do the same if you wanted one for info or sales or perhaps, anything like returns, refunds, things like that, legal. You could do whatever. So I don't think you need that many. I typically create one that might have support at and then my name at. Later, I might split those out into separate inboxes if I bring in a virtual assistant and I want them to have sole ownership over the support inbox. But for now, it's a nice opportunity to have multiple email addresses and to not be charged any extra for doing so. So you can do that and then click save. And so with that said, back to Shopify, just double check everything's linked up. It still says SSL pending, so I'll give that a little bit of time, maybe a refresh here, and we can move on to setting up a business phone number. So the next thing we want to do now, we have a professional branded domain. We have a great website. We've got a theme that we're going to build out that will look really good and professional. But one of the things with high ticket dropshipping specifically is that customers will want to believe that they can trust your business. And one of the ways to do that is to have a professional company phone number very visible on your store. Now, that doesn't need to mean that you are taking calls all day from customers. You can have it set to a voicemail, and you can pick up the voicemails maybe once a day or even in text format that you can then reply to as email. But we just need to have a phone number there because it's good for things like Google Ads. They like to see a phone number. Facebook ads like to see a phone number. It's a trust signal to customers and to the ad networks. And, who wants to buy from a high ticket store if you're spending thousands of pounds? If there's just someone's mobile number listed on there, it seems a little bit dodgy, right? So if you head over to dropshipunlocked.com/circle, that will take you over to this service, which is what we use and what we recommend, and I'll guide you through it. And you can start completely free for 7 days. So you can have a 7-day free trial, and it's very inexpensive after that. You can check their pricing, but it's not much, and it's a really worthwhile tool. So I'm going to sign up to that, enter my details now, and then we will click try it for free. And then once you've signed up to Circle Loop, it's really easy. You simply download the app. They've got an iPhone app, an Android app. They've even got a desktop app, so for your PC or for Mac. And you can take all of your calls through that system so that you can have all of your calls recorded, so that you can listen to your virtual assistant taking calls later on if you need to and review how they're dealing with customer support, things like that, train them. You can add other phone numbers, so you can have different stores all under one account. You can have your whole team on one system, and there's different subscription plans depending on how many minutes you need. So it's a really good tool. So get everything set up with that. And remember, with the link that we've linked below, you get a 7-day free trial. So the next thing we want to do is head over to Google Search Console. This is the system that allows us to tell Google that we exist and that our website is on the internet, it's there. We want Google to crawl the website, find out all of the different pages that we have, and then display those pages, product pages, collection pages, to the outside world, to customers, because that's ultimately how we're going to get sales. As well as running ads, we'll want organic traffic that comes from our search engine optimization efforts, and this is one of them. So head over to search.google.com/search-console/about. I'll link that below as well, so you've got access to that. And then I'll click on Start Now. Now it's taken me to a screen where it's asking for my domain. So I'm just going to paste in my domain here. That would be there. I'll probably put it in without any of the prefix parts. So firesidefeast.com for us, and then just click Continue. It says checking verification. Ownership auto-verified, probably because we'd already verified it in the previous step with Google Workspace. So that's all done. So we are good. So then it says go to property. Welcome to your new domain property. Domain property aggregates all protocol subdomains and paths. We are good there. Okay, perfect. Now we're all in here. We can see the property that we've got here. You can also add the www version of it if you want to. This is a great place to come see your performance. See if there are any errors on your site, anything that needs fixing, any 404 not found errors of people hitting certain pages that don't exist anymore. But for the sake of this video, let's go to sitemaps, and then we want to add in our sitemap, which is kind of what it says really. It's a map of our website that tells Google where all of our different pages are located. So on Shopify, fortunately, the format of sitemaps, the URL structure is always the same. So it's https:// your website, so for us firesidefeast.com/sitemap.xml. Okay, so that's what you'd put in for yours. You replace this part with your own site, and then /sitemap.xml, click submit. Okay, so that's all set up. We've now got our sitemap submitted to Google Search Console, so we can move on to the next step, which is setting up our Google Analytics. So now we've submitted our sitemap to Google Search Console, time for analytics. So let's set up Google Analytics. So the way to do this is head over to analytics.google.com and make sure you're logged in with a new email address that we just set up. And then it should take you to a similar onboarding welcome screen, something along the lines of welcome to analytics, blah, blah, blah. Let's help you get set up. My account name, I'm going to use my new business name, so Fireside Feast. So then we've got account data sharing settings below here. So it says the data sharing options give you more control over sharing your analytics. So I'll probably keep all of those on. The more data we give them, the more control we'll have over the whole process. So property name, again, Fireside Feast. And United Kingdom, if that's where you're living. And currency, let's set this to GBP. No, pound, British pound, not the Egyptian pound. And then show advanced options. We don't need to do that actually. I don't think at this stage. We can just create a GA4 property now. So we're good. So we can click next on that. Then the industry that I'm in, before we said retail, they don't have that. So something along the lines of that would be good. I guess for us, it would be shopping. We're a small business. And next. And then my business objectives are primarily to drive online sales. You could probably say raise brand awareness as well and look at other stuff. The more the reason you're doing this really is because they'll then personalize Google Analytics and how it looks to what you're trying to do and kind of point you towards the right options, but you should still have all the options that you need later. I am in the United Kingdom for this. I'll accept, I'll agree. Of course, I'll diligently read through these terms, make sure that I'm happy with them, familiar with them, and then I'm going to choose a platform. And the platform I will choose is web, because that's where we're going to have our website. So then our website, Fireside Feast. So I'm going to put in firesidefeast.com. Call this a a stream, a data stream, enhanced measurement on the settings there, probably make sure everything's on there. And then I would click create stream. Now it says data collection isn't active yet for your website because you need to install some things. So it's saying copy a tag, set up your Google tag integration with Shopify. So I'll just follow the instructions here. So sign into Shopify. On the left, open online store, preferences, and then Google Analytics. So let's see if we can find that. So online store, preferences, Google Analytics, and then I think it said manage pixel here. And then if the Shopify app isn't installed, review the list of permissions required, and then press add sales channel at the bottom to continue. So let's see. Manage pixel. So I'm going to install this, just make sure that everything is set up correctly, and click install. Now that's done, so I can connect my Google account to it. So let's go and connect the Fireside Feast account to it and click continue. And then allow. And here it's shown me the property that I've just created, which is the Fireside Feast property. So I'm going to click connect on that. And that is it. We've successfully set up Google Analytics 4 as quickly as that. So there we go. We're all done on that one. And we'll come back to talk about things like Merchant Center possibly in later videos, because there's really not time to go into all of that stuff at this stage. But now we're just getting the business itself up and running. So with that said, we are done with the basic setup of our store and we are good to go. What a journey it's been so far. We have been on a roll setting up the essential foundations for our high-ticket dropshipping business. Everything from signing up on Shopify and configuring all those nitty-gritty details and settings. We are making big strides in the right direction. So we'll do a quick recap. We've already tackled signing up for Shopify. We've configured the settings. We've chosen a theme for our store. We've even decided on our business name with the help of AI and ChatGPT. We've got our business email and business phone numbers set up. Now, as we move forward, we're going to continue building this dropshipping empire. So stick with me because there's so much more to come and we are just getting started. Whew, that was a busy morning. So we've set up all of the Shopify fundamentals. We've set up our settings. Everything's in place. We are well and truly on our way to having a high-ticket dropshipping business up and running. Now, the next part is where we actually start to build the store, like what it looks like. It's where we start to put together the visuals, the theme. Now, I call this part creating an MVS, which stands for Minimum Viable Store. So you'll have probably heard of MVP. Well, this is my version of it, MVS, Minimum Viable Store, because that's all we need at this stage, right? We're looking to create a store that is good enough to sign suppliers so that when we call suppliers in the next video, in part 3 of this series, it will show them that they can trust us. We're also looking to build a store that is good enough that customers will be more than happy to buy from it, that there's no issues with them trusting that we're a legitimate company or not, and just making sure that it ticks all of the right boxes. Yes, later on, we can create this into some e-commerce masterpiece of a store and bring in developers and have custom things built. But with the refresh theme that we've decided to go with, the free theme that's given to us by Shopify, it's absolutely fine to get you to your first £100,000 per month on this store. Maybe beyond then, we look to reinvest some of the profits that the company is starting to churn out at that point back into it, hire some developers and take it to the next level. But really, if you're getting held up on this point, then I think you're missing the bigger picture. So stick with me, because now we're going to jump into actually designing the visuals of the store. So let's do it. Okay, so now is the fun stuff. This is where we can start getting the branding up and running for our store. We'll work on designing the logo, the favicon, all of the elements to really make the brand memorable and recognizable as well. So first thing we're going to do is start at canva.com. If you haven't used Canva before, it's a really good tool. It's really simple to use. You can do a lot of stuff for free with it. So we'll go to Canva, and if you haven't already, I'll sign up for free. I'll continue with Google, and then I'll use my new Google account. Use my new Google account for my new store to get set up, and then I'm going to click continue, and it should just let me straight into the system, so we can start building the branding for your store straight away. So just say that I'm a small business, and maybe I'll try Canva Pro later. For now, not now. All right, so we're in. We've got the confetti. We're good to go. Okay, so now I'm logged in. I'm going to go to custom size, and I'm going to set this to 2048 by 2048 pixels because I want it to be a square. So I'll set that up. This is going to be a square logo. It's going to be an image, and I'm going to create the logo. So if you head over to elements here, and then if you search for a relevant element for your niche, so something like barbecues, or I guess barbecue tools and flame, something like that, something that's suitable for yours. So I can see this one here. Perfect. So got that there. And I can make that a little bit bigger. This one is part of the Pro edition, but that's all right. I'll pay the small fee that is required to get access to that. You could just use a free one if you don't want to spend anything at this stage. And then from there, I'm going to add some text in as well. So I'm going to go to text and add a text font there. And maybe I'll change, I'll put in our brand name, shall I say. So there's a font that I've used recently on a design that was called CS Gordon Serif. So I'm just going to use that one. So I'll click on that one, and then the text looks a lot better now. I've just made it a little bit bigger as well. So we've got that there, and yeah, we're good to go. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll also just copy this over. And I've just copied it over to here as well. So we've got a second page. If you need to add a page, you just click the button to add a page. And so now we've got our logo, which we can use kind of like a favicon later, which is the little image that appears at the top of the web browser tab that you can see, and the main square logo for our website. So we've now got those two. Now we need to also make a longer banner as well. So I'm going to go to File and Create New Design. And then I'll go to Custom Size. And this time I'm going to do 2000 pixels by 600 pixels. And this way it will make more of a wide banner. That way I can then copy and paste the text from here onto this as well. And then I can split it out, ungroup it, put the logo in the middle, for example, and then maybe split the words out like that. Change around the sides, and then kind of work that until I'm happy with it. Okay, so I'm happy with that now. So with this and with the last one as well, the square one, I'm going to click share, and then I'm going to download it as a PNG file. That's fine. Or you can download it as a JPEG, whatever you prefer, and then download that to my computer. And then if you want to get back to the other one you had, back to home, and then you will see the other one that we just made there. And then it opens up here, and I can download both of these separately. So I can download the first one as the square logo and the second one as the favicon. So now we're good to go, and we can move on to jump back into Shopify. Now it's time to set up some demo products on our site. So the reason that we do this is pretty straightforward. We want to give our soon-to-be suppliers, the ones that we're about to begin calling, a bit of a sneak peek of what their products might look like on our site. So it's kind of like, when you're staging a house before you sell it, the furniture is not going to be the furniture that the buyer actually has. These aren't going to be the products we actually sell. They're just going to be demo products. They're for show. They're to make our website look like it's alive and kicking and selling things. So what we'll do is use demo products that we know that aren't products that we would even be able to sell for real. So there are a few different ways you can do this. You can go to some stock websites and have demo products brought in. You could even use an AI tool to create some AI created demo products. Or you could find products that are outside of the market in which you sell. So for example, if we're selling in the United Kingdom and we're working with UK-based suppliers, then if we found a store in the US, for example, or in Canada, and some of their products that weren't even sold in the UK, they could be great demo products to just show our suppliers what it would look like. Remember, we're not claiming that we're selling these products. We'll even tell the supplier when we speak to them that these are demo products for now because we're not yet launched. And as soon as we sign that first supplier, we'll be taking them down anyway. So just be aware, this isn't a long-term strategy. This isn't something that you want to leave on your site for a long time. It's just for that initial conversation to give them a look and feel as if it's a store that's up and running. So I've had a look and I've found a website that is called insideoutpatio.ca. So it's a Canadian website. And so I'm going to have a look around here because I want to find 10 to 15 demo products to start with that I can add. So within barbecues, we've got like outdoor pizza ovens here. Remember, we're Fireside Feast, so we've got a nice broad overarching name so we can select lots of different types of products. And yeah, this one's available. Looks nice and clean. It's got a white background, so that would be a good one to look at uploading. So what we'd want to do is find the product image itself. So if you right click and click on save image as, and I'll just save that to my desktop. And then perhaps I'll go to the next image, save that one as well, and then do the same for the next one. And so I'm doing this because then I've got these images ready to go for when I begin uploading some demo products onto my store. So I'm going to keep this tab open, and then I'm going to go over to Shopify and we'll create a new product. So I'm in Shopify here. I click on products. We want to click add product up here. So we choose add product. And then I'm going to copy and paste the stuff across from the other website. Remember, we're doing this only temporarily. It's from a website outside of the market in which we sell, and we'll be taking it down immediately as soon as we signed our first supplier anyway. If you're not comfortable doing this, then absolutely don't do it. You could go and find one from a stock footage website, as I said, or anything like that. So I've copied over the title here, and we use a bit of a naming convention. So we would have like the brand name first, then we'd have what type of model it is. So this one's a stone wood. Then what is the actual product type itself? So it's a wood-fired oven top. I'd probably even include the word pizza oven top from an SEO standpoint, because people would be searching for that. And then we're adding like the material or the color or the size afterwards. And yeah, best practice when it comes to product titles in Shopify is you want to make sure that they have as much SEO relevant information into them, but earlier in the title itself, you want to try and include the keywords such as the brand and the model that people would be searching for online. So we've got those in, and we've got our product images. So I can go to upload new. So then I've got my images there. So I'm just going to click to upload those, and then I will reorder those. So I'll just drag this onto the main one because that's the one that I want set up as my main image. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is create a product description. Now, one of the ways we can do that just for our demo product is in ChatGPT. I'm going to say, this will be a product I am selling on my site, Fireside Feast. Please write me a unique SEO optimized product description for my Shopify store. And then I will paste in a link to it, and then let's let ChatGPT do its thing and just get us a basic description that we can use. Remember, this isn't something that we're going to publish long term. This is just as a placeholder to make it look good for when we chat to suppliers. So we're not using AI generated content and hoping that we're going to rank on Google for this. This is just to get us over the line with those first few suppliers. Okay, so that's now loaded. So I'm going to copy this over from ChatGPT and head back over to Shopify and paste it in there and match the style. Now there will be a little bit of editing we need to do here, so we could set that to, for example, like heading 2 style. Then we could set that to heading 3. Then we could leave some gaps in here, make it look a bit better. There's probably some space for some bullet points in here as well. Some of those, yeah, I think that'll be fine as it is. So if I click save, actually before I save that, I'm just going to add what the product type is. So we've got here the product type would be a pizza oven. If you haven't got that type yet, then just type it in. But I added that already. The vendor is the company, so I'll add in Alpha as the vendor. And then for the tags, I'm going to add in pizza ovens. There we go. Add that. And then we are good to go. So I'll set whatever the price could be. What do they have it priced at? 6,100. So we'll put that in at £6,199 as well. Not that that would be what we'd sell it at probably, but we'll leave it in for now. And then we are good to go. I think anything else we need to do there? Obviously, this is all your search engine optimization meta title and description. So you would go back in and change this stuff later if it was a real product, but because it's not, we're just going to keep it simple for now. Click save. Okay, so now we've put together our product page, but now it's time to put a collection page together where we can group all of our products and allow customers to view them on our website in one organized way, and we can have several collections on our website. So this will all make a bit more sense as we actually build out the store, but these are kind of the fundamentals we need in place so that we can build the store out. So first step would be to go to products and then to collections. And then at the top here, we'll click create new collection. I've got a couple there, but you can ignore those. And then we want to put in our title and our description and add an image. and then we can set it to automated. And we'll do that. And then I'm going to fill in these details now, and then we'll jump back into it. So I've now created a collection called Pizza Ovens. I've added the title in, I've added a description in, I've selected 3 products, which are the demo products that I uploaded, which remember aren't going to be real products, they're just placeholder products at this stage. I've even added an image there, which I got from the site that we were taking the photos for demo use from. Remember, I'm going to get rid of all of this as soon as we actually go live with it, once we've spoken to suppliers and onboarded them. So this is just to show them what it looks like. And then under search engine listing, you can optimize your SEO title, your SEO description. That could be a job for ChatGPT, but it's probably a job to do later once you have real collections with real products in there. So we've done all of that. We are set up with our collections. And so I've created that one, and I created a couple more just now as well. So I've put together a best sellers collection. And on here, I set the collection rule to be that products must match any condition. And the product tag is equal to either freestanding gas grills, but you can choose from any of your tags, or equal to pizza ovens. But you could have a tag on products that was called best sellers. And so you can see this auto populates with all of the products in here. And you can even arrange the items in here by your best selling. So you might even choose to put your most profitable best selling items as the ones that you feature in this collection. And then you could have other collections, like specifically just your freestanding gas grills. You could have a different image by it. You can choose where you want to publish that collection, put in your description, and you can use the rules either by tags, or you could arrange by vendor. So we'll end up doing like a collection for just that vendor's products, maybe by category, by price. So you could do like products between £100 and £500, for example, and then that would be product is greater than 100 but is less than 500, and then that would show you all products between 100 and 500, right? So that's how you would create that, and then I would call that collection maybe something like 100 to 500. And so then I could have the different price brackets as collections. But as it stands, I'm going to keep that as it was, keep that as freestanding gas grills, get rid of these rules, and then I have my collections, and that's how you create collections. So we'll move on to the next step. So we've now got our products uploaded, we've got our collection pages built out. Now I'm going to go to settings and then find brand, where is it? Brand settings there. And then as I go down, I'm going to upload some of these logos so that they can be applied around our website correctly. So the first way I'll do that is go here, and then I've got my logo that I already uploaded here. If you haven't, you just add it in there, and I'll add my logo there. And then square. Yeah, that's fine. We'll change the favicon one to that one. Quite cool as a circle. Yeah, like that. So then we've got the colors. So this is the primary and the secondary colors. So I'm going to click add a primary color. Now to find that primary color, just back over to Canva where I have my logo that I've created, and click on the red. And then if you just click on the red, you can see there, it's that hex code. So I'll just copy that, head over to here and paste that in there. Doesn't like the thing. There we go. Doesn't like the hash. So for the contrasting color, we'll leave that as white. And then for the secondary color, I'm going to add in a yellow so that it's red and yellow kind of flames. And then I think we're good for the colors at the moment. For a cover image, you can add an image that works well from kind of how you want your store to look. I'm going to choose this image here and just click done. And then that will add in my cover image there. And then the next step would be adding a short description. So we're going to put something in that is around the outcome, the desire of people who would be purchasing items from our store. So uniting friends and family with the warmth of outdoor cooking. Just something short, snappy, nice and easy. We can come back and add a description later if we want to. This is where you'd add in all of your social links if you've got those set up. Again, we can come back to that stuff later. For now, we are good to go and we're all set up with brand settings. So I'll click save. Right, so we've set up our branding. Now we need a few required pages before we start going out there into the world with our new business. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up things like the About Us page. So I've got an About Us page template here. that I'm going to use. And the way we do this is online store and then pages. And then with that, we would click add page top, and then we'll call this about us, or we can call it anything similar to that. And then I'm going to paste that in there. And so then I would enter in the placeholder text. So welcome to Fireside Feast, your dedicated store for all things, barbecue and outdoor cooking, the rest of it. And so then I would work my way through. You could make some of these into different formats, like you could have a heading 2 for that, maybe heading 3 for that, or you could have those all as heading 2s throughout the page and make it seem nice and consistent throughout. Okay, so now I've written this up, I've put in all of the placeholder text and things are looking good. So it's coming together. Put some spaces in there, and we can fine tune that stuff later, but that is all good. So I'm going to keep that there. I might even put that as the title. No, I'll keep that as about us, that's fine. All right, so that is that bit done. And then let's create a contact us page. So Shopify already give you a contact us page template as standard, so you'll get this page in there. And you want to make sure you're using the contact theme template so that it puts a contact form on your contact us page. And then you can put something like this on there. If you want to contact Fireside Feast, call us on whatever our number is. Alternatively, send us an email to the email address that we set up before, or one of the alias email addresses, wasn't it? Or simply use the form below. Now, the reason I say that is because when you use the contact theme template, there will be a contact form below that page that you can use. And so you'll be up and running with a contact page once you've done that. The next thing we're going to do is set up some pages for policy pages. So we've got things like our privacy policy, terms and conditions, cookies, refunds, shipping, stuff like that. Now we set all that up earlier. So we actually can do a bit of a trick here where if I open settings in a new tab, so I've got a new tab up there, I'm going to go back to policies, and in here I'm going to go and find our return and refund policy. So we created this already, right? So in here I'm going to hover over this, copy it, and head back to the pages that I'm setting up. Let's create a new page, so we're still in online store pages, and I'm going to call this returns and refunds. Then I'm just going to paste the text into there because Shopify already wrote it for us already with their template maker. Remember, you're going to want to change this to match your supplier's return policies to ensure you don't get caught short on this. But once you've done that, you can click save. And so now we have a return and refund policy. Next up, let's set up a privacy policy. So again, I'll put this note in here just to remind you that this isn't a complete privacy policy, and you would need to get this checked yourself and get this verified, but it's a starting point, and so we will use it for now. And then click save. So we have our privacy policy set up. Remember, you've got to go through and figure out all of the placeholder text in here. There will be mistakes in here. Like, for example, I saw something already. If you make a purchase from, and it has this, it has the old Shopify domain because that's when this was created. So you need to update it with your new domain, and you need to update it with your new contact information. There's lots of stuff in here that you know, notes to merchants. None of this stuff should be there, so that's why we won't leave it there when we go live eventually, but just getting things set up to show you how to do it for now. The next I'd make is a terms and conditions page, and then I do the same kind of thing here, and terms of service, call that the same thing, terms of service, and then paste in there. Once we're happy with that, then I'll click save. So the next one I'm going to make is the delivery policy. So this one is good, and this will be largely dictated by how your suppliers dictate delivery terms, so whether they can deliver items within 24 hours, if it's 2 to 4 days, whatever their policy is. You'll probably want to try and mirror that if you can. Now, to find that, I'm going to head back over to my Shopify settings in the policy pages, and I've actually added in a shipping policy here. We didn't add one in before, but I've added one in now, so I can use that. And then I will copy that over to my store here. Remember, you've got to change your email and make sure your email goes in. And then I'm going to click on save. And then once you've done that, we're next going to add a new page, and we'll call this one the cookies policy. So there are templates that you can download online for this, but I'll put something here as kind of placeholder text, but legal disclaimer, this is designed for demo purposes. This is not to be used, so we can't be held legally responsible for you using this cookies policy. This is just an example of what it might look like. As I say, you can access cookie policies online and build your own even to make sure that you match what you need. And then we click save. And so now we have a cookies policy up and running, and we're good to go. So we've got all of our required pages there. I think we're pretty much set up. And so those are our main pages that we need. Now we can start putting together some menus and some navigation as well. So let's jump into that. So we will jump back into our Shopify dashboard, and then we go to online store and then to navigation. Now under navigation, we hit add menu. And then when we're adding in the menu, we want to add in probably a header menu. And then we can start adding some items into the header menu. So we can put things like barbecue grills, and for that we might want to select a collection and select our bestsellers, for example. And then if we're happy with that, we don't have to filter it by tags, but you could say just show barbecue grills that are red, for example, if you had them tagged as red, and then click add, and then we'll do the next, and I'll add in the rest of these now. Okay, so I've just added in barbecue grills, pizza ovens, and then link to our contact page, which I selected a page, and then I selected our contact page here. And so that's now applied and saved. Now the next menu I'd want to add would be a footer menu. So I'll go back and do the exact same thing. Add a menu, call it footer menu. And then I'll start adding in some items one by one. So the first thing we'd want to add into our footer menu would be our privacy policy. So we can just search for that, and that might show up under pages and privacy policy. So we got that there added. And then the next thing might be our terms and conditions. And then I'll add in our cookies as well. Then we'll add in our returns policy. Make sure everyone knows about that. There, and then we've got our shipping or our delivery. I think we called it delivery, didn't we, on the last one? Yeah, delivery. Call that delivery policy. And then finally, then we've got our returns page already. So yeah, I think we're good to go. So we've got our privacy, our terms, our cookies, our returns, our delivery, and yeah, I think we're good to go. So we'll save that menu as our footer menu. And now we have our footer menu and our header menu set up, and we've even got a main menu that I've put together there with home, catalog, and contact. So I've just set that as our home page. Catalog just goes to all products, and contact just links to our contact page. So now that we've set things up, we've set up our required pages, let's head over to our online store, and then we'll find the theme that we've been working on. So it was the refresh theme. So I'm going to click the customize button next to that. And now I want to start off by editing this theme using the editor here. So at the top here, you can see what it looks like on desktop, what it looks like on mobile. And I would advise making sure that every step you take along this journey, you make sure that it also looks great on mobile. You want to design your store to be mobile first, really, in this day and age. So we'll start at the beginning, and on the left here, you can see this cogwheel for theme settings. So we'll go to that before we dive into any of the sections. At the top, we can see the logo. So I'm going to add my logo and favicon that we already added in here before. So I've got my logo here. So we'll add that in. We can upload that if you don't already have it. And add my favicon in here. Put the transparent one in. That's all set up. And then I'm going to go down to color scheme and choose a color scheme. So you can choose a different color scheme here. You know, they've got versions that are kind of preloaded. I'm going to add a new scheme and then set some of the colors to colors that I want them to be. So for this, I'm going to choose that to be just white. And then for my text, I'm going to have that as black, nice and simple, black and white. And then solid button background, let's have that as like a red that matches our logo that we've done. And then for the solid button label, we'll have that just as white, nice and simple. For the outline button, let's have that. That, and then for the shadow, that's that. So keeping it really simple. And once you have done those steps, we can go back, and then I think we're pretty much done with that. So once we are done there, we can save our theme. Make sure you remember to save it, test it on mobile, make sure you're happy with it on there, and then head over to sections, which you can see the sections section in the top. So we'll click on that, and then it breaks our store up into the different sections. So we'll start by looking at this header section that it groups into the header section at the top, and then we'll click on announcement bar. And for this one, let's change the color of that announcement bar to red to match a bit more in line with our theme. And the text that we could put on the announcement bar, this is the thing that's going to appear at the top of the store. So we kind of want it to say something that's a bit more in line with our store and the offers that we have. So we've got that all set up. And then the next thing we'll do is change the text on the announcement bar. So you can see underneath that, it gives us the text. So I'm just going to put that and change that to free delivery for orders over £500 today. And you can link that to a specific collection. So perhaps I link that to my bestsellers or something. And then we'll keep moving, saving as I go. Next thing would be to update my header menu as well to the new header menu. So when I click on here, I've got my store here, and then I've got the menu, and the menu that is selected at the moment is our main one, but we want to change that for our newly created header menu there. So then I can click save on that, and then I'm going to set this color scheme for my header to just be the background as white there, because we're going to come back and edit some of that stuff afterwards. And that's probably where I'm going to put my logo as well. And then we can move on to the template section of this. So that's this section here. And in here, we've got the main section really for the homepage is all within this template section. So in here, we'll click on slideshow, and then we'll just change the slide height there to small. Then within browse our latest products, let's select the hero image that we already have in Shopify. So we'll go to that, and then we'll just choose one of those. I think we had that one. That was quite a good one. So we'll use that. Now I'm going to change the browse our latest products text to bring the heat to your outdoor cooking. And then we can change the call to action link, so the shop all button, to shop our barbecue grills. And then we can link that to a collection of freestanding gas grills, because that would take customers to the correct place for doing that. And then let's set that to middle center. We'll center align. Let's change the button color to match our color scheme. So let's make it there to match our color of our branding. Okay, so now as I put the rest of this store together, rather than me narrate the whole thing for you and go through it in painstaking, slow pace, I'm going to go through and build the store from top to bottom as I do it. So if you want to, you can slow this video down and watch it in half speed and follow along as I do it. But we're going to speed it up a little bit now so that I can get through this build. Just setting up color schemes, fonts, putting collections in the right place, so that by the end of it, we have our store built and we're ready to go. So let's go. Okay, so the store is now built, it's put together. Sorry if it seemed a little bit fast. I had to get through a lot of stuff there. If you want a full breakdown of how everything actually works and talking you through all of the different steps, then we go into so much more detail inside the Dropship Unlocked Masterclass program. But you can also watch the video I just did at half speed, and I'm sure you'll be able to follow along and see what we do to build that. Remember, you could win this exact store. I could personally hand this store over to you if you enter our competition. And just a reminder on how you do that, you like and comment below all 3 videos in this video series and subscribe to the channel, and you could be in with a chance of winning this store from myself, and I could be handing it over to you very soon. Okay, so now it's time to start installing some of the recommended apps on our Shopify store. Now, apps are such a great addition to Shopify stores, and it's one of the main reasons why we recommend using Shopify as a platform, because of the great integration it has with so many different apps. So if I go over to my apps on the left here, you can see the apps that I have installed currently, and I'll take you through some of these now and how we set them up. But these are kind of the recommended apps that I would get started with when you're first building your store. So for the first one, Klaviyo, or Klaviyo, depending on how you pronounce it, that's what we'll use for our email marketing and perhaps our SMS marketing as well. So the easiest way to get that is head over to dropshipunlocked.com/Klaviyo that you can see in the link there, and that will allow you to get started today. So I'm going to go through this form now, fill in everything, and then I'll meet you back here once I'm inside my new account. Okay, so now I'm all logged in and I'm inside my new Klaviyo account, and I've clicked on home. If you go to flows, I'll show you how to set up an abandoned cart flow, which is going to be a really important one. So it might appear down here in your browser ideas section, but if not, then you can just, you might find it here. I've just clicked it, so it's showing up as a draft for me, but it'll probably appear up in the ideas here. Or you'll find the template for it somewhere, but this is what you want: abandoned cart reminder email sequence. So click on that. So you can then see what I've done here. I've changed after the trigger. I've set this as a wait condition, and I've set it to wait 30 minutes. So you can do the same if you like. And then I've set the second wait condition, which is after they receive email 1, to 20 hours. And then I'm going to just dive into that first email, so email number 1 here, and just have a look at the way that it's been set up already. So you can see that the subject and the preview look okay, so that's kind of what the subject line will appear in the email inbox, and then the preview is the text that you get below it. If you are looking at your emails, you'll see that when retailers do that, the idea of that is you want to try to encourage curiosity and intrigue, because what we want to do is get customers to click the link up. The sole purpose of those 2 lines is to get the open, right? Then the email itself can do the heavy lift of getting them back to the basket to try to complete their purchase. But if I want to edit the email itself, you can see what it looks like on mobile and on desktop. So if I click the edit button there, that'll allow me to edit email number 1 in the sequence. And I'm just going to update the text on here just to make it a little bit more compelling. So I've actually done this one already, but you can see here that I've added this text at the top, so you can copy something similar to that. I could go through and change the color schemes of the different, things to match my brand if I wanted to, link up all my social media stuff in the footer. But to get moving, this is absolutely fine. I'll probably just change the header logo to my own logo, or I could just delete it for now. And then once I've done that, I would click on save. Then the next thing is I want to look at the email number 2. So I've set my subject line on here is "Your cart is about to expire, don't miss out." And then I've got the preview text as "Don't forget to complete your purchase while your cart is still available." So then we've got that there, and we can click edit, and then we can add in some text for email number 2 just to make that stand out a little bit more. So if we want to edit that text there, we could leave the heading the same, and then we could just paste in some text that maybe we've written elsewhere and are prepared and it's ready to go. And then you could preview and test it, which I'd recommend doing. But for the sake of this video, we're moving quickly, so we're going to keep powering ahead. And so I will save that and then head back to the email flow. And then for the third email here, so we're going to add a 1-day delay before they receive that one. So that's a further 1 day after the 20 hours that they waited to receive email number 2. And on this one, this is your last chance. Don't miss out. We want to add a bit of scarcity, a bit of urgency. We want people to take action, because it's kind of at this stage, now or never. Add some kind of benefit, but again, curiosity, it's they don't quite know what you mean by that, so I'll save that. And then I'm going to edit the text in number 3, because you can see that currently it just looks exactly the same pretty much as email number 2. And I'm going to put some text in there that calls out our customers a bit more and just encourages them to take action. So I'm just going to put some text in here, keep text styles the same, and then time's running out. You only have 24 hours left before it expires. Plenty of time. All you need to do is so we're ending with a call to action and trying to get them to return to their basket. I mean, you can change the wording on this if you want to. You could set it to basket or cart or return to the shop or whatever you want to do. And then, that is all set up. So I'll save that. And then your next one that you would want to set up would be a welcome series. So this welcomes subscribers with a 3 email series and provides a warm introduction to your business. I'm not going to do that now, but it's the same kind of technique. You'd go through, you'd edit them, you put your logo in there, link up your social media profiles, and so it's all ready to go. If you want me to do a run through of kind of Klaviyo and email marketing for e-commerce in depth, and you'd like another video about that, then let us know in the comments below this video, and you never know, we could line something up for you that's a lot more in depth. But we're zooming back out now because we've got some more apps to look at in Shopify. So we'll head back over to Shopify, and then we've got another app here which isn't showing up there, but it's showing up here for me under sales channels. You can find it by going to all recommended apps, and then you want to head to the Shopify app store ideally, and when the app store opens up, you'll be able to search in here for any apps. So the one I'm looking at is called Shopify Inbox, and this is a great live chat app for your store. So it's a really good app. We've already got it installed on here, so I set it up already, and you can see it here under Inbox. Now I'll just dive into my settings for that under chat settings, so you can see the way I've set it up, and feel free to model it if you want to, but I've got it set up like this. You can see the way that the FAQs that I've entered, and kind of what it would look like if someone clicked one of those frequently asked questions. We've said about the returns policy, things like that. And then I've got a pre-chat form, show marketing opt-in to get a mystery discount. So that's congruent and matches the messaging on the rest of our page. And then I'll click set up chat just to show you what it would look like on the store as well. So you can see that. You can see our shiny new store Fireside Feast is in full swing now. And then down here on the right, we've got chat. And then it allows you to write a message, or we can pre-populate it with instant answers to frequently asked questions as well. So you can actually save a lot of your time by just giving the answers to the most frequently asked questions that customers have. And then availability, you can set that to the hours that you want to be available. You don't want your phone pinging all hours of the day with this, and set up how you want it to work. Once you have your virtual assistant in your store, they'll be able to manage this, and you'll be able to set up quick replies and templates and things like that you can send them as well. So yeah, it's a great tool, really good. And that is Shopify Inbox for live chat. So the next app that we are looking at is for product reviews. So that one we have installed here already is called Judge Me, which is a great app for reviews. So I'll just go through this and we'll see what it says. So yeah, we don't need to upgrade. We could just use the free version for now. But then it says, you can see the steps here, change the star color, set email timings. So you can match the star color to match the color of your website, your branding. You've saved those hex color codes from earlier, and we can send automatic requests to people. You could send an email request 14 days after the order is fulfilled, and if they haven't responded, then send a follow-up request after that initial reminder. And you can even integrate down there like collecting reviews via SMS or push notifications as well. But you can adjust what the emails say. So in here, we've got one that's active at the moment, but you can edit this, you can change it, you can add your store logo, which I would do as well. So then you can see in here, it's got the customer's name. So it says, hey, buyer first name. So, hey, John, we'd love to hear what you thought about the product that we fulfilled 14 days ago. Here it is, allows them to rate it. And then those reviews can be integrated onto your website. You can edit what the sender name looks like. So when it's coming from you probably want it to come from your store. So I'd change this to Fireside Feast. And then, yeah, you can change quite a lot. I mean, you can do a lot more with the upgraded paid version of Judge Me, but this is absolutely fine to get you started. You don't need that. You can even add Q&A notifications or Q&A sections onto your product pages as well. So you can have a Q&A section, which is great for user-generated content. When people ask questions, other customers will often have those same questions. So if you answer it very comprehensively and with a really in-depth answer, that will increase your conversion rate on that product page, because when other customers visit the product page, they'll have their questions answered too. So you can get all of that set up. I just go through and follow the Judge.me steps to get that up and running, customize how you set up your reviews as well. So they've got a really good guide, and it kind of guides you through step by step. So you can either have it as a carousel, or you can have it as different types of widgets. So you can have it like the longer form ones here that you see with the text, or you can have the carousels. So you'll see these are quite recognizable because you'll see other websites using these already and think, oh yeah, I've left a review on a website that looks a bit like that. And so that's the review widget. You can change the color. So my guide here, or my advice here, is just go through the judge.me review navigation helper, this get started button, and just follow the steps through until you've got it all set up in the way that you want it for your store. So that is judge.me, and we've set up reviews now. And then the next one is we need a cookie banner, a GDPR compliant cookie banner. So if you just click on this app here, this is one that was recommended by one of our members actually in our Dropship Unlocked Masterclass. Again, you've got a free and a paid version, but you can activate the cookie banner here. And remember that cookie regulations are always updating, so make sure that you stay informed about your regulations in the country that you're operating in and seek professional guidance. I'm not a cookie legal expert, so this is not professional advice. This is just the way that you could set it up. You can see all of the language here could be changed. You can figure out the ways that you need to do it, what you want your banner to look like, how you want it to behave, etc. And then you can preview it in your store. But that's a good app recommendation for setting up cookie banners. The next, if I go back to the home screen and then back to apps, would be to look at this app, Tapita, SEO and speed. This is a great app because it improves your page speed. It helps with GT metrics, page loading speed. It allows your image optimization. So that's both in terms of like your alt text on your images, the text that should describe an image to a visually impaired person, explaining what the image is. Google loves that. If you can include your product name, brand, color, size, and everything in the alt text, this app can do it automatically, which is fantastic. Of course, it has a free and a paid version. The free version is fine to get you started with. Can help look for SEO errors that you have, any broken links, help you with keyword research, optimizing your descriptions, your meta titles. So much you can dive into. It's a great app. Definitely recommend that one. And then if we go back to the dashboard, you can then go to your apps, and you might need to head to the App Store for this one, but I've added it already. And this is Trust Badges. So these apps come and go. So hopefully this one will still be available when you want to start using it. But we've got this version here, which as you can see is free forever. Again, with most of these, there are things that you can upgrade to, but it usually makes sense to do that once you start making money for it. So we'd set the free plan up. And the reason that we have trust badges on a high ticket dropshipping store is because when customers are looking to purchase products that are higher price, so if we're selling a barbecue that's $2,000 or £3,000 or £5,000, like a really high end outdoor grilling kitchen unit, for example, customers are going to want to feel that they can trust the website that they're on. And so you can see here all of the different badge options that you have. Again, I'd probably just work my way through the tutorial here and set it up. But if I give an example here and just show the video that they have, you can see what they look like. So you can have the different trust badges, whether it's a card symbol, whether it's just like a trusted provider, or if it's like secure online checkout or whatever they are. You wouldn't think these make a difference, but they do tend to increase conversion rates as well. And so, yeah, I'd set this one up. It's a nice, simple, easy to use app, and it's got over 1,000 trust badges and icons. So you should have everything that you need. So that's it. We've now covered all of the app recommendations that I would have to get you started with a Shopify store. So you are good to go. Now, take a moment to appreciate what we've just done. We've just built a store from the foundations of creating your business, from deciding on the business niche, the name, registering the company, the bank, building out all the visual identity of your store, right through to getting it to the point where it's now a real life business. You have a brand, and we are in a brilliant position to move forwards. And that is a wrap for part 2 of our high ticket dropshipping journey. We have covered so much ground today, from setting up a business to creating the foundations to crafting the visuals of our brand's online store. We are well on our way to creating something truly extraordinary. But before we go, remember that exciting competition giveaway I mentioned earlier? Well, here's a reminder. One lucky viewer will have the chance to win the fully set up e-commerce store that we've built together today. To participate in the competition, just make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel and hit that like button and leave a comment on each of the videos in this series as they go live. Your chance to own this very business is just a few clicks away. Now it's time to move on to the next exciting chapter of our journey. In video 3, we'll be showcasing this store to potential suppliers, getting them signed up and taking our business to the next level. So don't hang around, head over to part 3 on this video series now and join me as we dive into the world of securing top quality suppliers for our high ticket dropshipping business.